Hey guys, it's me, Happy Hour from Happy-Tec, and today, as you can see, it's snowing, which isn't an issue. The problem, there's no problem here actually. So you're probably, what am I doing here? Well, I recently read up on this one gun that apparently there's a quirky feature about it. If you put on safety and you pull the trigger a few times, you got a shotgun effect. And well, I just wanted to try that out. So here we go. This is the Jericho941 by KWC. This is the gun they were talking about. And the thing is, when you put it on safety, as seen here, it's on safety right now, every time you pull the trigger, it doesn't fire, but you can still see the barrel moving. If you look closely, don't worry, the mag's not inside. But as you can see, so they say that when it's on safety and you pull the trigger a few times, you get a shotgun effect. Basically, that's multiple rounds at once. And so I'm going to see why, and possibly go into why that happens for this gun. So, before we begin, we're just going to take a few shots. Man, I'm sorry, it's cold out here and I'm sweating, so it's making my things fog up, so it's not exactly a good combination for anything. But, there we go. So I'm going to zoom in, and so you can see for yourself. There we go. Let me lower this down a bit. 1, 2, 3. There we go. There we go. And the thing about this gun is I'm using .20s. It's suggested that you used to use at least 0.25s, 0.28s, anything heavier, because it actually shoots really hot, about 420, around 400 FPS. So the BB's tend to fly a bit. But here we go. I'm going to try shooting it. So here we go. There we go. Okay. So the gun shoots, obviously, I don't know, the gun was having a weird mishap earlier that I wouldn't, the thing wouldn't go off. So I was feeling now that the gun shoots, and it does shoot at 1 per time. So now I'm going to go test out the whole, put on safety, click it a few times, and then we'll see what happens there. So I'll be right back. We're back. So now I'm going to test the whole pull the trigger while it's on safety. As you can see, the safety is there. So there we go. So I'm going to put 1, 2. That's weird. Maybe there's something wrong with this ammunition. Actually, now this should give us a good time to look at the mechanism and see why it could possibly happen. So, the gun's empty. So now we're having an issue on why the gun does not want to fire. So I don't know what's going on, but it looks like this little clip here is what's keeping it from doing that. And if you just pull it up slightly, looks like it wants to make it go. But the thing is, since it's on safety, that's the reason why. So that's weird. Earlier, this gun doesn't want to fire because the whole thing was just acting strange. Like, apparently it was going too far up into the magazine, where the tube would go into the magazine, giving it that complete seal, why it has such a high FPS. But earlier it wasn't doing that. So that's weird. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I did 5 times. Let's go. There we go. And then there's your next 3 rounds. So I'm going to do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Alright, I'm going to fire in 3, 2. Huh. Okay, so it looks like the shotgun effect does work. And I think I figured out that, let me put the gun in safety real quick, that there might be issues, let's see here. There might be an issue on how this thing actually works. Let me load this up real quick and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so the reason why this works, the reason why the gun can able to do a shotgun effect when you put on safety, and and pull the trigger a few times, this is the reason why. Let me take out the gun. Safety. Okay. So basically, let me get my little tool here. So what's happening is when you pull the trigger, this little tube here goes into the magazine. If I can find the magazine on both things. I put the magazine. Oh, it's my back pocket. So what happens here is, see this magazine, how there's just a channel here? Well, basically what happens is when you pull this trigger, this goes into the magazine, putting a BB in the chamber. And believe it or not, there's actually a hop up in this gun. If you look closely, I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see a slight little piece of plastic in there. Angle it right. There you go. See that little nub? That's actually your hop up. There's actually a hop up unit in there. That's how it has hop up, believe it or not. But basically, when you pull the trigger, this will go into the magazine, put a BB in the round, and the hammer will be cocked, and when it fires, it'll hit the pin, and all that CO2 is directed towards that BB. That's how it has such a high rate of fire. And it's also non-blowback. None of it is being used to cycle a slide. So all that power is going straight to the BB. That's why you need heavier round BBs. Now, on how it works and why, the reason why is when you put the safety on the gun, this little piece of metal pushes something down. Turns out what it pushes down is this trigger bar right here. And when you push it, oh, let me turn this upside down real quick. So when you push down the bar, it'll disengage the little link here that activates the hammer, and it just allows this thing to move. That's it. That's all it does. It just pushes this down, and it doesn't make contact with the hammer. Here's the safety. Safety off, safety on, pushes the hammer down, and there we go. And basically what that does is it'll just chamber BB, but doesn't shoot any bullets because the gas isn't being hit by the hammer when the safety is on. So basically what that means is it looks like you can do at least a maximum of 2 or 3 or 4 BBs before the hop-up cannot hold anymore, and then that little hop-up bucking, or piece of plastic it looks like, can't hold any more BBs. In terms of wrecking your gun, I can see why, because this part is plastic, and it looks like if you try and force something, it might break something. So that's pretty much, I think, how the shotgun effect works. Now, would I recommend doing that? Well, let's see. If you want a multitasking gun that can do single shots accurately and then have a spray of how many bullets you need at some target, then yeah, I would. But if you want to make sure your gun doesn't break, then I would suggest not doing this. But, you know, it's a cool little effect you can do. So I'll put my glasses back on. One, two, three, four. So it looks like you can do a maximum of 3 before the hop-up bucking can't hold anymore and it just falls out. So 3 is your max. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Oh, it looks like it could hold 5 before it all falls out. That's cool. Okay, so let me do it again. And here we go. Here's your proof. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds left. I would do 3 times, and I'll show you it does work. No, actually 4 times. 2, 3, 4. So now, when I fire, 4 BBs should come out, hopefully. So here we go. 3, 2. And now there's only 2 BBs left. Huh. Something funny happened. So there's only 2 BBs left, so I'm going to do 2 times. 1, 2. Here we go. So there we go. I just wanted to do a video on the whole thing, on the fact that the gun can do shotgun effect. And yes, it can. Should you do it to your gun? I mean, if you want a nice little shotgun, a pseudo shotgun primary, secondary thing, then yeah. But since the insides some parts are plastic, I wouldn't recommend doing it. And also it damages the BBs when you try and force it. So sometimes the spring isn't strong enough, or the BBs might not align properly into that little mechanism. So I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, but if you just want to do it like as a once in a while thing to like just for the fun of it, why not? It won't hurt anything, but it's basically all up to you. So there we go. So I'm going to load it up one more time, and I'm just going to do a few shotguns and singles to show how cool of an effect you have. It's kind of cool knowing that you have a little shotgun in your pocket effect. Looks like it jabs every other time. shotgun effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we go. So 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. That's pretty much the whole shotgun thing with the Jericho941. I'm not sure what you guys would get out of this, but I decided to make a video on it because I thought it was a cool feature. That's maybe unintentional, but now I can see why people might say it might break your gun. Man, this thing's getting so loose, I swear. But I can see why now, because if you try and force this piece seems to have trouble loading it now, looks like. Don't know why, maybe because I did too many shotgun shots, or... But let this video be known, like, if you want to try it, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, unless you just want to break the gun, or if you just want to see it for at least once, so... But yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to, like, figure out why sometimes the BBs don't load properly in this gun anymore, sometimes. Looks like it could be because, the BBs are too close, or something. But I'll figure it out later. But anyway, there we go. So my name is Happy Hour from Happy-Tec. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. So yeah, as always, you guys, be chill.